some of them. We have, despite budget constraints, we have been able to, in a kind of a frugal way, we have been able to acquire some smartboard additions to the high school. We are now up to 13. We piloted in the spring a student response system that the Parent Association then supported the purchase of to the tune of almost $1,800, so that will be unveiled in the fall. Parents Association again supported the purchase of 6 Kindles. So technology continues to, goes back to the discussion of the cell phone. I mean, I think it's not going to be long before we're allowing students to have those cell phones, used as an instructional tool pretty soon, I think. So I would say that, again, along the line of technology, the EdLine program that we instituted in a full-fledged way in September, boy, I'd go so far as to say I think that's one of the best things we've done at the high school in the last few years, to be able to give students and parents access at any time that they want to how well the student is doing in class. Has been hugely successful for us. I wished I had thought of it a few years ago, but it really has. Now that we're at the point where the year has ended, I'm going to be doing some analysis this summer of student performance and seeing if there has been a gain that could be attributed to parents and students having daily access to their grades, and also to learn about where they're not doing so well and how they might be able to work to improve. It gives parents a good opportunity to see what students are missing so that they can make them up in order to improve their grades. It's just been a huge advancement in terms of our parent and homeschool communication. We continue to work as a faculty on a book discussion group. This will be our 3rd year. This summer we're reading 21st Century Skills. We will convene in the fall. You might remember that last year we did a book discussion group, and from that came our iBlock Beyond Books Day. That happened in April. I think you're all aware of that, where we abandoned classes for the day and had a series of workshops for students to rotate through. It was a great day. So that all stemmed from one of our book discussion groups. And the last thing I would say that I think, in terms of summary here, that is important for everyone to know is that we are very much in line with all of our obligations with the New England Association of Schools and Colleges in terms of meeting our accreditation requirements. The high school has been and continues to be fully accredited, and we are working diligently to prepare for the 2014 visit. And the school council has been very supportive of things that we need in order to prepare for that, like the revision of our mission statement to now reflect core values, beliefs, and 21st century learning expectations. So I don't know if I went too fast, but I tried to hit some of the high points. Certainly,
It's impossible.
Yeah.
you want to ask some questions, I'm certainly be available.
Committee, any questions or comments on the high school improvement plan?
I appreciate that the council spent some time thinking about how all of this works together with our plan for the building.
Yeah.
And that, to me, it's evident everywhere in the plan that there's some connection to, well, we could do this, but this is like a, we have to fix the structure in order to do it, to have, our language labs and, chemistry labs or whatever we want, that will support learning. And I think that it's critical that be everywhere in every document that we have.
Jerry?
Mel?
One thing you didn't touch on, John, that I was impressed with is the formation of the faculty committee, North Reading 21.
Reading 21.
To look at 21st century education and what we need to do to successfully achieve that. And I think that's really important to point out. The other thing that I pulled out of here, there's a lot of different things. I do think, as Karen said, a lot of the things that we're recommending, we're probably not going to be able to do in the current building. Hopefully we're going to have a new building where a lot of these proposals and ideas from the different departments can be, we can see in the new building. But there's one thing in here that I think it said that the school council opposes the extracurricular fee, and I think they've said that every year. And one thing that I would like to do, we've never had any luck cutting the athletic fees. I'd like to look at this for next year, and Carl, if you could give us an idea about how much we collect in extracurricular fees, and if there's a way to either cut that or eliminate that. I don't know how much it is, but I think any kind of movement that we can make back to true public education, where we're paying for things that we probably should be paying for, would be a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's possible. If it's possible, I think we ought to look at it. Overall, I think this was really good plans, a lot of insight in here. Both the middle school and the high school plans are just chock full of stuff. And you pretty much know what's going on at the two schools by reading through these two plans, so.
I did miss one thing, if I could just mention. I hope you all got a copy
Yes,
of
we
our
did.
new informational brochure. That is
Yes,
something
this
that
is
is new
great.
this
That
year
was
too.
full.
So-
Yeah, that is really good,
So
yes.
I think we'll see that it's
Yes.
gonna evolve over the years. I mean, already there were some things
That was
that I wished I had
excellent.
put in it, but just again, another way to get the word out about a lot of the good things that are going on, so.
Any other comments from the committee? Mike?
I think you do a great job, John. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. One question I had for you is, do you allow the seniors in high school to bring in laptops to take notes or any kind of digital device?
I would, it's not a yes or no question. We don't disallow it. I don't get requests for it, but we have had a couple of requests over the years, and there is a problem with and forgive me because it's not an area that I'm all that well versed in, but it has something to do with the network key that the high school is not equipped to be able to handle, allowing just anyone to log into our
Right.
network in the high school. So we
Yeah.
have said no, but it's not, and I don't know if that has lessened the number of requests, but we don't get a lot of requests for it because I think we have in classrooms, we have such an ability for students to be able to do that if they wish. We have an iPad cart with 30 iPads coming in September as part of a grant
Great.
that was written, I believe. And
Yeah.
so that's something we're moving in that direction, but
I was thinking, once you get to college and you got these large lecture
Yeah,
halls and all
it's-
that, the kids have the laptops open, and writing becomes, unfortunately, a little less important in college.
I think you're
It's a
right.
lot more.
I think we're at that point. I really do. There are complications with the building being kind of a 55-year-old steel and cement building. It's,
No, I agree
you
with
know,
the wireless piece. But I'm just wondering for note-taking, if we were to promote that to the seniors, because all you need is like a Word document or a Word app to be able to do that. You don't really need the wireless piece
Yeah.
to take
It
those
actually might
notes,
be
so.
better in high school to not have the wireless
I
piece
know,
that they
because
could.
then they don't have to
Well, that's
go
right.
out and
That's
browse
right.
the web.
Want the
Right.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
access,
Right.
what you really want is
Taking
just a
notes.
dumb computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking notes.
I think as the iPad catches on
Yeah,
and more of them become available in the school, I think we're
Probably
going
promote a
to be
little more.
confronted with needing to address whether or not we allow them. I don't have a strong opposition to it at all. Certainly, it's the way
Yeah,
things
it's
are going.
going,
So
right.
we better be prepared to be introducing it at a
Right.
young age.
Almost what we need is a barrier to prevent outside wireless in. So we can
these
call
buildings
the
have it,
wireless
trust me.
Yeah.
environment. And then we could allow cell phones or anything else, because it wouldn't matter.
Have we thought about moving any of the textbooks or the curriculum to an online mode of any sort?
We have
Such
not.
as like a Kindle reader for summer reading or?
No, not to the extent
Yeah,
where
so-
we're ready to move on something like that. I mean, I did have a conversation with the superintendent, earlier this year, and I was thinking, what are the financial considerations for equipping, an incoming ninth grade class with a $139 Kindle, times
Right.
200 students?
That's
You know,
family
it-
price
we
and
did
that's
have
kinda-
that conversation. I know it's happening in a couple of area schools where that is either the Nook or the Kindle, but I wouldn't
I would take it
want
even
to
a-
mislead you.
I would take it a level further. You don't need a Kindle. It's a mobile device, but you can use a laptop or a desktop
Right.
because you just need to download the free app
iPad.
or an iPad. But
Yeah.
you just need to download that free app, and then you can
Mhm.
access that material that way. So you can eliminate that cost pretty much, unless you're planning on collaborating in the classroom with it. That's where the Kindle plays.
No, and I
role.
think teaching methodology is going to change
Yeah, it's gonna
as
change,
these
yeah.
kinds of tools come into the classroom too. So that's the direction we're headed in,
Yeah.
clearly. And at about $150 for a hardcover advanced placement environmental science textbook, I mean, it's something to consider
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
seriously
yeah,
for another whole reason,
Right, exactly.
financial piece.
I just want to add, though, that I'm very happy that we're talking about technology, but I still want to emphasize that it is the tool and the outcome is what we're looking at, not the actual method of getting there. Because I think there are lots of ways to get there. That is some of the non-technological solutions to learning, to me, are just equally effective, if not more so. I still want us to have that discussion about how fast we're moving in that direction, which is why I'm happy that we're doing a pilot of the iPads. I just really want information about whether that, is an effective tool, and I wanna know what the return on investment is, both in terms of achievement and whether we can financially afford these types of things in the future. So I just want us to be realistic and, not think so much about, I'm speaking to the committee, but not think so much about the mode of learning as much as the achievement that's produced by it. Cause I think we're not as focused on achievement as we need to be, and we're always talking about technology, and I just find it to be a little bit too much.
I guess I would disagree
I would
wholeheartedly.
disagree
Okay,
wholeheartedly.
we're gonna end the technology debate, and we're going to take a vote.
I actually have one more question.
Go ahead.
I forgot to ask you this, John. There's a
Yes.
mention in the foreign language section about the possibility of adding a third language, and Mandarin Chinese was mentioned. How realistic is that? Is that, again, budget issue in terms of having to have the staff to teach something like that?
It is, but I think it's very likely that I will be asking you in the winter to accept that as a new course offering for 2012-13. But there will be some, that more than any other will require some funding consideration because of the teacher.
But I only want to do that if we can do it on an iPad. No, I'm only kidding.
All right, Jerry doesn't have email.
I know.
You guys can have your technology debate.
Yes,
After
later,
the meeting.
after you leave.
Okay, we need a vote.
I would make a motion to approve the North Reading High School School Improvement Plan for fiscal years 2012 and 2013.
We have a motion. We have a motion by Ms. Ericetti, a second by Mr. Bowers. Any further discussion? Anything except the technology aspect of it? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? None. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0.
We just
All
wanted
right.
a discussion.
And we'll ask Mr. Bernard now to just move into the changes in the handbook, and that'll be able to get him out of here.
Very good, all right, thank you. I did not have an awful lot in terms of, the amount of changes necessarily. Substantively, maybe a little bit more so, but so I chose just to print out those pages that were affected, I think, with some language changes or maybe something a little bit new. Rather than print, I think our handbook's up to about 75 pages now, so these select pages are where I'm proposing, what I would call substantive change. I may have made a grammatical change somewhere along the line somewhere else, but for all intents and purposes, for 2011-12, I would like to ask for your blessing of the following changes. One is to, again, as it was in the school improvement plan, to now update our mission statement to reflect the core values, beliefs, and 21st century learning expectations, which we do print in the handbook, so that would take care of pages 6 and 7. You might remember, those of you who've been on the committee, especially for a little while, that it seems each year, and this is one of the benefits of our guidance department, going out and attending workshops with their colleagues from other schools, attending workshops with not necessarily our school department attorney, but school department attorneys that run workshops on various guidance-related subjects. And the benefit is that they come back with good information. And so we have done a lot of work annually around the area of guidance and some of the language in the handbook. And so 2 sections tonight that I would call to your attention are the reporting of information on students' transcripts to post-secondary institutions, particularly around any kind of disciplinary consequence. I don't want you to think, or the people who are watching on TV, that this is in response to anything. It's solely rooted in correcting the language to reflect what we have been advised it should reflect. So that's what this, the sections on pages 18 and 19 are.
John, on the disclosure of discipline violations, how does that change from what was previously there?
It's a good question. I think that the most significant change is that there is a process for the counselor to report basically an explanation of something. So if it's at the very bottom of page 18 onto page 19, it starts with that last sentence, that if there has been a significant discipline violation, the guidance counselor, and then it goes on to the top of page 19, in accordance with Mass Student Records regulation, will respond to the questions in a manner that informs the post-secondary institution of the fact. So they haven't operated. This has become more and more the case with the common application, because the questions are very, very general around discipline violations. For example, have you ever been suspended from school? That's literally one of the questions. This now, we've always done it,